Hi there everybody, it's Sanna here again today, and today I'm sharing my second finished art journal with you. It's going to be a flip through. In this journal there is actually my very first art journal page from 2012, I think, and that was the moment that I was introduced to art journaling, but then there was like a big gap between when I started actually creating in an art journal on more serious and regular basis. And this art journal, I just decorated the front and added the dates from which time this journal is. So this is mainly from April 2020 due to the COVID-19 social isolation thingy, because you practically can't not go anywhere, you're not working, and during this time I had my knee surgery and I was on sick leave from work anyhow, so this has also been something that has mentally helped me go through the healing process of my cruciate surgery. That was end of March, mid-March. And okay, let's start. So I just decorated the front with some leftover golden paint. Then I have some distress crayons there, and I've got some scribble sticks by Dina Wakley Media. I've got some Posca pens and stamps by Tim Holtz, because I've been following lots and lots of Dina Wakley Facebook Lives during this COVID-19 lockdown, and also Tim Holtz's videos that he has been, live videos that he has been posting on Facebook. So that was kind of inspired by that. Okay, let's start. So this is just something I just did for the fun of it. I added some distress paint onto the back, and then I added a quote. Because I think it fits with the theme of this art journal. It says, that feeling when you are not necessarily sad, but you just feel really empty. And this is what I've been feeling lots and lots due to pains and aches that my knee has been causing. Also, you know, not being able to do everything, not only because of COVID-19, but also because of my crutches and the rail, and not being able to walk properly, and just not being able to do practically anything that I usually do. So that was the start of the first quote for this journal. And this actually is my very first art journal page. It's been done in 2012 March, and this is where I took a class by two German girls that had been doing some art journaling, and I remember them saying, like, you can, you know, be creative and do anything that comes to your mind, like paint your hand and make a print with it. And actually that's what I did, and I really like this page still until today. It's so much fun, and it also says talk to the hand, and well, yeah, you can figure that about what this page is about. And then the next pages are, I tried to dabble in art journaling back then, but it just didn't hit any nerves that time. I wasn't ready for it, I think. So these are very much like scrapbooking pages, lots and lots of things going on, no real plan there. Just adding sequins and inks and punches and paper flowers and washi tape and you name it, just anything, but without a real plan what I want to really express with this page. But you know, you have to start somewhere, and this too, this is well, it's about this is a lot. This page has lots of feelings inside, and there's even a story hidden here. But other than that, it's not, when I look at it now, it's not that much art journaling for me. But, you know, I was learning, and yeah. And then this one, I tried to draw something, some flowers. This is everything's drawn by me and colored in, and then just added a sentiment in there and some sticker alphas and whatever. So dabbling and trying to find out what I like and what I don't like, but it just didn't, I didn't get it back then. Like, it was not a passion. It hadn't turned into a passion. And here also I've figured, I think here is when it started that I do lots of quotes and sayings and sentiments, and there's a bulb, a light bulb stamp that I still love a lot. This company does not exist anymore. I was on their design team back then, and I love this stamp still until today. And what does it say? It says, overcome your fears. If you have art in the heart, let it out. It's good for you. Never mind if nobody sees the beauty of it. Do it for your heart and soul. Well, yeah, that's true. And then these are already from April. So there's 3 pages from back then, and then this is actually everything in here is April. And I've done, this is a tape transfer from a magazine. Didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out. It was kind of strange paper, and no matter how hard I rubbed the layers off, they just kept on coming back. I don't know. So yeah, not a real success. It was the same paper like here. This also is tape transfer. Then I've got some stenciling going on there with my stencil designs here too. And then some distress paint, distress ink, and all kinds of stamping. Viva Las Vegas stamps going on here and here on the background. You can hardly see them. And always quotes. I love using quotes. And then this one, there was, I think this was for a challenge, like to do a collage, but you know, back in 2013 I had no idea what collage was, and it was a try on it. I did these are different papers that I teared into a rock for this girl, and then it says, this is how I feel in the summertime. It's a nice paste, but I wouldn't do things like this anymore. So you change during the years and your style changes too. But anyhow, you have to start somewhere, and this is where I started. And you know, at some point this turned into this, and this is still a process, and this is still a learning process. So I've been watching the Dina Wakely Facebook lives, and she draws faces the way I would love to draw faces, and I just made a decision myself that I want to learn to draw abstract faces. And what I mean with abstract is I can't ever, never ever draw a real face to look like a real face. That's not something I'm talented in. So I am trying to draw the face like the human face is built, and it's going to be just somebody, an imaginary person, not a real person. But to get the proportions right, and you know, the shadowing and the lights and everything. So it's a big learning process, and this was the first try. So yeah. And then I did Tim Holt's Facebook Live. I was watching it, and he used the distress crayons and lifted some of the crayon with the stencil, so the stencil pattern shows through, and this is what I did here too. And this way of adding the quotes really hit home. I really enjoyed doing this page, and I like how it looks like. I could watch it for like ever and ever. I really like this, one of my favorites. Here I tried different media, shimmer powders, distress paint, distress inks even, I think, and distress crayons. And then some of my stencil patterns are also to be found on that page. This one is just a DIY tag that I added the negative print of the stencil onto, and this is basically just distress ink that I sprayed with a water bottle and then pressed it onto this tag, and then you get this image. And this is just stencil patterns applied onto the background with Stamploration stencils and distress paints. And then also these clear stickers are from Stamplorations. And this is distress crayon here on a stamped and fussy cut flower. My second try on the face with after a tutorial by Dina Wakely, and this one is, I think, is better than this one. She has like a square face, but hers is more face formed. Still not perfect, but yeah, I'm practicing, and it is fun, and I enjoy doing it. So it's very relaxing. Then this one is again distress paints, and then I just lifted the stencil pattern with a baby wipe from the background, and some fussy cut flowers on an old book paper, and then colored with Posca pens, and then some clear stickers by Stamplorations. This one is a magazine transfer page that was left over. It was totally covered with red paint, as you can see peeking through from the background, and I really liked how it looked like, so I thought I'm going to adhere it onto a page, and then I'm going to color that face in with Posca pens. So everything here you see, the lights and the shadows, that's Posca pens. And this is just a gel plate residue piece that I hand draw the word raw, and then I just fussy cut it. And this is the same stencil both ways. So on this one I've got the original pattern that you get when you press through when you apply the paint through the stencil, and then you have the leftovers on the stencil, and you press it onto the second page, and you get this negative image of the stencil pattern. And this too is done the same way, and then I figured they actually look like leaves again in another way, so I drew them into a real leaves and added my quote in there. Sorry, that was my phone. And then I've got some scribble sticks, splatters, or pocks as Dina calls them, going on there, and Posca pen details. And here again some distress crayon, some stenciling with my stencil, done with the same way you lift the crayon from the paper. And there's a gel print tissue paper on the background. Also, this is by Paper Artsy. These are Posca pen dots, and then just a fussy cut old book paper, handwritten sentiment here. And by day 33 I was feeling like this, so yeah, that's why I really wanted to add this stamp image here. And then this one has lots and lots of layers of distress crayons, some scribble sticks, a handwritten word, and then some stamping with Stamplorations Mixed Media Grunge stamp set. And also some stenciling on the background. I just wiped a residue paint through a stencil onto the background, and it created this pattern that just peeking through here and there. And then this one is just kind of translucent paint, and I tried to create a wood pattern, or wooden pattern, or wood grain pattern onto the background. There's some distress paints, also these darker areas here. Then I fussy cut from these birds from shimmer powder paper. I've misted it with shimmer powders, then I stamped with stamps on top, and these are just fussy cut from English book that's called The Story of Living Things, and it's all about birds and flowers and animals and insects, and I thought it was kind of fun, so I added those here because the birds are sitting on a branch, and it says here how when they sleep, how they don't fall off the branches, and I thought that was kind of interesting, and I added it there. And here I have some of my own stencil designs going on, and some clear stickers by Stamplorations. And on this page also one of my stencil designs here, some white paint on the background, some spray ink, some Stamplorations stamps going on, and colored with spray inks and Posca pens. And this one is about plants like flowers, how they open their petals and the insects pollinate them and what happens. And then this one is a huge jump from my first face here. I think, in my opinion, it is. It's just distress stains on the background, because I don't have the, I haven't been able to order the Dina Wakley, how do you call them, cloth sprays bottles. I just can't order them at the moment, so that's why I use distress stains on the background, and then I paint it with scribble sticks and colored in with scribble sticks, and added some stamps, stamping with Dina Wakley stamps. And I really like how this face turned out. I tried a smiley face for a change, and it pleases my eye. I don't know if it pleases anybody else's eye, but I'm happy with it. And then here again, distress stains going on. Then some spray ink in yellow through a stencil of one of my designs. Then I tried to stamp with scribble sticks and the Dina Wakley stamp. Then this is a stamp by Diane Revealy. I hope I said her name correctly. And it's a fun stamp set, and these are hand-drawn people, and it says "oh people," which during the isolation is kind of funny. And then this was another experiment on painting a face sideways, and I just colored it in with scribble sticks and added some stamping. These are Dina Wakley stamps again, older ones, and yeah, that's how it turned out. This one is Dina Wakley stamps, stamped with scribble sticks, her washi tape and hand-drawn leaves, and then some misting, a negative piece of one of my stencils on the background. That was the starting point. The leftovers spray ink was lying on the stencil, and I just pressed it in there. Then I added some doodling or a sentiment, handwritten sentiment, and the title. And then some Liquitex gold going on there. Then this one is distress paints on the background. Then I added distress paints on top when everything was dry, and I used two of my stencil designs. Then I stamped the Scribbly Bird by Dina Wakley sitting on a branch. Then I hand drew some misted leaves from an old book paper. Also fussy cut, adhered on the page, then lots of stamping. This is the same stamp set like the bird. And then just added the word spring and colored it with Posca pens. And here I've got spray ink instead of distress paint going on the background. Then some rub-ons, really old ones. These are, I think, Kaiser Craft. I don't know, this might be from 2008 or 10 or something. Quite old already. Then some stamping with Tim Holtz stamps on the background and on the tag. And this is a gel plate paper, residue paper that was left over, and I fussy cut it into a tag. Some colored tissue paper triangles going on here, and stencil design by myself over here. And then the next one is again, I first did this page, and this started when I did this page. So I had the paint, I had applied the paint over here, and I had all the paint left on my stencil. So I went and misted it a little bit because it's distress ink, distress paint, and then I just pressed it 2 times onto the background, and I got this really lovely pattern going on here. And I misted this face with red spray ink. This is tissue paper by Dina Wakley. Then I added some stencil patterns. Also this blue one is Molecules. This is my stencil design, and this is by Sherry. I think it's called Leaf Print number 3. And then I've got a fun stamp sentiment going on here. This is by Diane for Ranger. And some spray ink, yellow, I love yellow, going on there, and some leftover gel print circles that I fussy cut. And then cutting off this face, I had all these tissue paper strips, random pieces left over. So what I did is I just added them with gel medium onto this page. I had already pressed all the residue paint, like this pattern here and this pattern here, from the stencils that I had used on this page. So I just used the leftover paint over here. Then I added the tissue, some spray ink, and then I added the stamped sentiment. This is a Tim Holtz design. And then I've got some gel plates, leftover pieces here. Again, texture paste with my stencil. And tinted with, I think it was spray ink, green spray ink. This is a DIY stamp that I did from leftover rubber piece. And I decorated it with Posca pens. Then I've got here some Posca pens going on. This paper is my working surface that I work on when I do these pages, and I just wiped with a baby wipe a stencil clean here on this surface, and this created that pattern. It looks like people, like tiny people on the background. And I saved it, I fussy cut it away and adhered it into the book, and then I just added this Mona Lisa on top, and I think it turned out quite nice. And this is my last page in this journal. This journal does not have so many pages on it. And this is again a face. I've done distress stains on the background, then added some a stencil designed by myself. This is called Tapestry. Onto the page, sprayed with, I think it was Lindy's spray ink in green, and then colored in with Scribble Sticks by Dina Wakley. Used her washi tape, cut it into hearts, outlined them, then added a stamp sentiment by Diane. And these are so fun. I will never be a well-behaved woman. And what else? Then I added lots and lots and lots of splatters. Dina calls them pocks, but I call them splatters. So it's just basically paintbrush on her Scribble Sticks and then adding it on top. And yeah, it's kind of hard to do teeth, but I'm still experimenting on that. She looks a little bit creepy, but you know, the sentiment fits her face, so I kind of find it fun. And I wanted to just do random things on this, so I added the Scribble Stick paint that was left on the paintbrush onto the background. I did some distress crayon through a stencil. I tried how that works out, and I have this Stamploration stencil pattern going on here. Then I have some leftover papers that I just fussy cut into hearts and added the outline with black pen, some washi tape by Dina, Diane's stamp sentiment, and Dina's stamp, black stamp. I think, how is this one called? It's an older one, let me check. Silhouetted Women. And then colored in with distress crayons this time. And then that's it, basically. I also decorated the back, so I added tissue paper, put gel medium on top and underneath, let it dry. Then I added some Tim Holtz stamps. This is an older set too. How is this one called? I can't remember, but I've linked it. I've got it in my blog, listed over there. What's the name of this one? I can't remember. And it's an older stamp set anyhow, but Stampers Anonymous has it on their program still. And then I added just some washi tape and distress crayons for the fun of it. And that's it. That is my second finished art journal. And this was the flip through. I hope you enjoyed watching it. And yeah, I will definitely keep on creating in my art journals. I want to take a bigger one next time. It's always interesting to change the size from, you know, if you have been creating in this size for a long time, it will be kind of difficult changing, for me at least, changing into a bigger size, so that should be interesting. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you soon with more art journal projects to share. Thanks for watching. Bye!